Hello. Want to take a few minutes. First of all, Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope everybody is getting some downtime to focus on the season and family and all the things that are really most important in our lives. I want to talk about a recent event Coalition had in Philadelphia over the last weekend. So I'm recording this on Wednesday the 13th. So it would have been this past weekend. Saturday, had the opportunity, the honor of going down and speaking at an event in Philadelphia. Kudos to Bill Allen, our outreach coordinator. I don't think anybody understands the amount of time Bill spends at his job. Obviously, financing the whole thing out of his own pocket, and particularly how much time he has spent in Philadelphia with outreach of the coalition to minority communities in Philadelphia. And it's just endless days, endless trips, incredible amount of hours, and it's really bearing some really impressive fruits. So again, kudos to Bill for just being absolutely tireless. I joke with him on the phone all the time that the man doesn't sleep, and I think that may actually be literally true. This event that I had the opportunity to attend and then speak at was a joint event put together by our coalition, Pennsylvania Patriot Coalition, and the Black Conservative Federation, which is a national organization. And their head of their Pennsylvania chapter, Sheila Armstrong, was there. So it was really run by Sheila and by Bill, and it was a joint event, our two organizations. And the beginning of what is intended to be a whole series of events in Philadelphia. This was the inaugural get together, the leaders kind of event. So it was probably 75 people in the room. But again, that's the leaders of this effort in Philadelphia. So pretty impressive. Thanks to some of the other group leaders that came down, like Andy Meehan, and I'm not going to even try to go down the list because I know I'll forget somebody and then I'll feel terrible. The whole point of this was to begin this process of organizing patriot groups in Philadelphia. And I think what we've seen is that obviously the conditions in Philadelphia are terrible, and people understand that. And if you think in the Black community and the Hispanic communities in Philadelphia, they don't understand that that's not having an impact, then you're wrong. You're completely tuned out. I mean, they understand that even if you manage to graduate from a Philadelphia school, that diploma is effectively worthless. I mean, they move people ahead from one grade to the other, regardless. It doesn't matter what your grades are. You're going to get promoted. And you can be handed a high school diploma and shoved out the door and still read at a third grade level. That's, in fact, the average. Those are the ones that stay in school. And of course, vast numbers of kids don't ever get a diploma at all. So the Philadelphia schools are a complete disaster. Philadelphia is the poorest big city in America. Philadelphia gun violence is off the charts. 75 years of Democratic rule, and they've taken one of the greatest cities in the United States of America, and they're just destroying it. People know that. People are not oblivious to that. If that's where you are, you're wrong again. They are waking up to it. They understand the extent to which they're being used and ignored. And there's a real rising tide here. The Republican Party has just walked away from that. The coalition has not. So this is really I won't say the beginning of our efforts, because Bill began those efforts months and months and months ago. But the first, if you will, formal meeting of key leaders in Philadelphia, and we're going to build on this, and we're going to keep working on it. So there is a lot of room for growth here. It's incredibly encouraging. The other thing that I want to put across to people so you understand, anybody in the GOP establishment who looks at this phenomenon and sees growing interest in the Republican Party in, say, the Black community, Anybody who looks at that and then thinks, well, this means they've all just decided to join the establishment GOP, join the country club GOP. They've just come around to our establishment way of thinking. If anybody who's looking at this and thinking that is completely deluded, maybe delusion, maybe they're deluding themselves. I don't know, but that's not what you hear. Certainly not what I heard talking to people down there. I hear a lot of people in the Black community, Hispanic community, really angry with the Democratic Party, really angry with conditions in the city, and also really, really angry with the Republican establishment that has ignored them, does ignore them. These folks are not looking to join the establishment GOP. They're not looking to fall in line behind Tabus and while he plays the tune and they march. They are absolutely looking at this with this same angry viewpoint that honestly a lot of patriot groups have, which is the system has failed us, the system is failing us, and no, I don't want to be part of your club. We want to take control of this and we want to remake this and we want to make this work for us, which is, I think back to the central theme of the Pennsylvania Patriot Coalition. The real divide in the United States of America is not black versus white, men versus women, gay versus straight. The real divide is between the American people and a relative handful of individuals who think they own the country and who are unfortunately in positions of power in both the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. And they think it's their job to make the decisions and we're supposed to shut up and do what we're told. And all across the state, people are saying, like hell, that's not the way this is going to work. And that's the exact sentiment you tap into when you sit there talking to these folks in Philadelphia. No, Mr. Tabus, I'm not applying for membership in your little country club party so you can tell us to door knock for you and then tell us to go home and shut up. And so you can import candidates from other states and then tell us we have no choice but to support them. No, we're taking control of this and we're going to make it work for us. That's what I heard in Philadelphia, which is probably appropriate, right? The birthplace of freedom. Those are the voices you hear. So, really psyched, really pumped. Again, Sheila, Bill, everybody else that was involved in this. Fantastic group. Next meeting, the next step in this takes place sometime in January. It's on my calendar. I'll address it in the future, a future conversation. But it's already on the calendar. We're moving ahead. This is not a one-off event. Really pumped, really psyched. Encourage you guys to be getting involved with minority communities wherever the heck you are. Not just the Black community, the Hispanic community as well, right? A lot of what we're talking about are social issues. Well, I got to guarantee you that the guy and his wife from El Salvador are not on board with the agenda that says that their son is really a girl and he needs to be transitioned, as in surgically mutilated. That's not the way folks in that community think about things. All right. Again, Merry Christmas to everybody. I'll talk to you again before the 25th. Everybody take care.